All right. Don't know how this is going to go. We're kind of just going to wing it. Basically going to go from AFC to NFC. Going to go fourth to first on the divisions. Then I'm going to show my playoff format, basically how I think it's going to roll, Super Bowl champs, all that. You get the memo. We're actually going to start with the AFC East. I did a season predictor, went through every game of the whole season, picked who I thought was going to win and whatnot. We're going to start off with AFC East. And fourth, not making the playoffs, I have the Miami Dolphins. I have them going 3-14, 0-6 in the division. I'm not super high on them this year. I believe with the injuries of Tua, the concussions every year, they're going downhill. The chemistry is not well, as you saw Tyreek Hill at the end of the last season saying, hey, I'm done, I'm out. Tua calling out Tyreek at the beginning of the year. Anyways, I got the New York Jets finishing third in the division, not making the playoffs. I have them going 5-11. They got the addition of Justin Fields, went to OSU, so I'm always going to pull for him, just like Garrett Wilson. I'm always going to pull for them. I think that's going to be a good duo this year. I think Garrett Wilson's going to get more yards than he normally does. But I don't see Justin Fields moving the needle. He didn't in Chicago. Last year, he was kind of off and on. They benched him. Was that week 4, I believe, for Russell Wilson? I want to see the dude succeed. I really do, but I just don't think the New York Jets is what's going to make him a better quarterback. I don't think they're going to hiring Aaron Glenn is going to make them a better team. Defense, I think, is going to step up a little bit this year. That's why I'm going 5-11. They're 3-3 in the division I have, but finishing third in the division, not making the playoffs. I have them finishing 12th in the conference, actually. Finishing 10th in the conference, second in the division, and the record at 7-10, 3-3 in the division is the New England Patriots. I could see them going a little bit better this year than what they normally do. I love the coach signing of Vrabel. I like the Stephon Diggs addition. As much as I'm not a fan of Stephon Diggs and how he plays, I am a fan of how they threw him in there, a wide receiver. But personally, number one, I have them finishing first in the conference, a record of 15-2, division 6-0, just like every year. They're sweeping the division is Buffalo Bills. This team, the chemistry's through the roof. Not much to say about them except they're coming back for another year. They got to get it done. It's time. It's all this talk every year about them going to the Super Bowl. They have 0 wins in the Super Bowl. I think it's due. I think it's time, honestly. I think this is their year. They make little additions to where that you don't expect it. Like Joshua Palmer. He's sneaky good. Josh Allen I feel like, is going to turn him into a solid back. I think Khalil Shakir takes a jump. I think Ray Davis takes a jump. I think Joey Bosa is finally going to have a good year. They got Tre'Davious White back. This is a team built for January and potentially even February. This is one of the better Bills teams I think I've seen put together in a while. I'm excited to watch them play. Like I said, I'm finishing first in the AFC, actually. Now to the AFC North. In fourth place, finishing 16th in the conference, I got the Cleveland Browns, finishing at 2-15 and 1-5 in the division. My personal take with them is when you're in training camp and you have 5 to 6, what they got? Sanders, Huntley, Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, who, if you know me personally, I'm not a fan of him. Kenny Pickett's a solid backup. I just named 5. I don't even know. It's 5 or 6. I just named 5 or 6 backups in the league. Obviously, they have Myles Garrett. When you have Myles Garrett on your defense is going to be good. Yeah, but I had them finishing 16th in the conference. And 8th in the conference, missing the playoffs. I have Pittsburgh Steelers with a 9-8 record, 2-4 in the division. One of those teams made a lot of. They killed the draft. I loved all their picks. Picking up Rodgers. The question is, we don't know what Rodgers we're going to get with Pittsburgh. We got the vintage Rodgers on the Packers. We got the your career's kind of going towards the end with the Jets Rodgers. What are we going to get in Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers? They picked up DK Metcalf. Great pickup. DK Metcalf is a solidified number 1 receiver in this league. He could be a number one on potentially almost every single team.
He could be a number one on potentially almost every single team.
It's a great pickup. They got Jonnu Smith. They got Jalen Ramsey. But what are we going to get out of Rodgers? What are we going to get out of this team? So I'm finishing third in the division, 8th, and 6th in the conference, 2nd in the division. Cincinnati Bengals with a record of 10-7, 3-3 in the division. I'm not going to sit here and be a biased Bengals fan and sit here and tell you, we're built for a Super Bowl run. I mean, I'm going to say that every single year. Just like Giants fans are going to say, we're built for the playoffs. We got this and this and this and this. That's my team. That's who I follow in the offseason. Again, the number one thing people can come at the Bengals for is about their defense, right? You're lying if you say that's not the case. The best offense in football. You got to know a fan. On defensive side of the ball, the draft, they killed the draft. You re-signed Hendrickson, and you got a squad. Demetrius Knight from South Carolina. You got Barrett Carter from Clemson. Those are 2 linebackers that are going to go there. A healthy Dax Hill, finally. I potentially think Cincinnati is built for a run. I am. They are due. This is a team destined to win. This is a hungry Joe Burrow. This is a hungry Jamar Chase. This is a hungry T. Higgins. This is a hungry Zach Taylor, who is due on the hot seat as much as people don't want to say. He's on the hot seat. And I think he's going to prove why he belongs in Cincinnati. Brown's going to take a big step. Defense, you lost Jermaine Pratt. You lost Mike Hilton in free agency. You cut Shelton Rankins. You lost Zach Moss on offense. Just clearing up cap. Hubbard retired. Clearing up cap. I'm personally pretty excited about them going into this year, but I got them in finish 2nd. So that means in first, I got the number 2 seed in the AFC, first in the division of the AFC North, 14-3, 6-0 in the division. Baltimore Ravens. This is a team that went out and got what they needed. Jair Alexander, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going to do Lamar Jackson things. They're scary and they're consistent. The AFC West is probably going to be the toughest division this year in the AFC. And 4th in that division, I got the Raiders. The Raiders, I believe, are a non-well put together team. I got them finishing 5-12. You got Gentry, you got Bowers, you got Pete Carroll as your coach, but Geno Smith does not move the needle. I'm sorry, he just does not. 0-6 in the division, record 5-12, 13 in the conference. We're going to move on from that because it's kind of self-explanatory. I have 9th in the conference, 9-8 record, 3-3 in division, the Los Angeles Chargers. They went out and got Keenan Allen again. They lost Palmer, pretty much replaced Allen with Palmer. I'm not a fan of Harbaugh. I'm biased because I like OSU. Herbert, he's a solid quarterback, but he's not great. There's a gap in between Herbert and Jaden Daniels and Burrow and Mahomes and Allen and all them. I think last year they got lucky with the schedule. They weren't killing teams. They snuck in, and I don't have them going this year. 5th in the conference, 2nd in the division, 10-6 record, 4-2 in the division. I have the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix, Sean Payton. They got Evan Ingram, I know. They got rid of Javonte Williams. They drafted Havy, I think that's how you say his name. You still have Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is one of the most underrated NFL receivers in the league. I personally love Sutton. I think Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback already. He's older. He had all of his years in college. He played at Oregon. Auburn. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was drawing a blank there. So I have them finishing 2nd. They could potentially finish 1st in this division. Obviously, I have the Chiefs. I'm not going to sit here and talk about them. I don't want to. 13-4 record, division 5-1, 3rd in the conference. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Mahomes and Kelsey, and I'm not a fan. The AFC South, Indianapolis Colts, 15th in the conference, last in the division, 3-14 record, 1-5 in the division. Here's why my issue with the Indianapolis Colts. When you have in training camp a QB competition between Daniel Jones, who was cut from a team, cut from one of the worst teams in football, and Anthony Richardson, who is sitting there complaining about how fast he runs on the field and say he's out of breath and runs off the sideline while everyone else is up the field. No. That's your QB competition? I'm sorry. When Anthony Richardson got drafted that high, I was disappointed. He did nothing. He didn't win a national championship. He didn't win a Heisman. They drafted him 4th, threw him out there with Jonathan Taylor, a great running back, by the way. They threw him out there with Michael Pittman, a solid wide receiver, potentially a very good wide receiver. They're giving him a tight end out of Penn State, Tyler Warren, who has potential to be the next Travis Kelce, the next what Brock Bowers is. He's a great tight end. If you fail with that group in a solid O-line, the Colts always have a solid O-line. You failed as a quarterback. It's time to go. Get him out. Daniel Jones, I'm sorry, he's not an NFL quarterback. He's a backup. If Mitch Trubisky's a backup, Daniel Jones is a backup. I'm sorry, I don't see the Colts doing anything at all. I got them finishing last. 11th in the conference, 6-11 record, missing the playoffs. 2-4 in the division, the Tennessee Titans. My problem with the Titans is that the coach is a great offensive-minded coach. Brian Callahan. He's a great offensive-minded coach. What bothers me with them is they go out and they spend on wide receivers that have no reason to even be in Tennessee. For example, it was DeAndre Hopkins. Now it's Tyler Lockett. It's like, dude, why are we signing people on the verge of ending their career? Tyler Boyd. I love Tyler Boyd. He's one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. As a aging receiver who's willingly admitted that his career is coming to a close, why are we signing him? I understand that they have a rookie quarterback coming in Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's a good quarterback. I think he belonged in the number 1 pick. It was expected. He's the best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. I don't understand the Tyler Lockett pickup. I don't understand. There's so many other things we could come target. There's so many other receivers. This is an opportunity as a new quarterback in Cam Ward. This is an opportunity to bring in young wide receivers. For example, the Bears. I keep targeting them because I'm actually excited to watch them play this year. They went and got Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick. They went and got Rome Odunze. Those two will at least be together for 4 years. If they bust, they're on their way out in free agency. They're guaranteed 4 years together. They came up together. They're training together. They came to the facility the same day together. Now's your opportunity with a Cam Ward. Go trade up some future seconds and thirds and go get him a wide receiver in the draft. They could have got McMillan. That's a great pair with Cam Ward. That's just an example. There's plenty other options. Get someone that Cam Ward is going to have a connection to for potentially his whole career. You hope. You want to build around a number 1 pick. This is my take of the year, my hot take of the year. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars making the playoffs, finishing 7th in the conference, 2nd in the division with a 10-7 record, 5-1 in the division. We've seen Trevor Lawrence. We've seen this guy can potentially be a top 10 quarterback in the league. We saw it at Clemson. We saw it the year they went to the playoffs. You have his buddy ETN. You have Tank Bigsby. You have a solid offense. You had Brian Thomas Jr., who is going to be I don't care what anyone says, he's going to be a top 5 receiver in this league one day. He's good. He's only going to get better by each year. You drafted Travis Hunter. If they keep Travis Hunter on the wide receiver side more than the corner side, you're going to have a good wide receiver. You're going to have a good group. You got a coach in Liam Cohen. You got who helped Baker do better. He's from the Bucs. He's the Bucs OC. He made Baker a better quarterback. He did. And it's paying off. Baker's a solid quarterback. He's helping the Bucs get to the playoffs. And next we have finishing 4th in the conference because they won the division. 11-6, 4-2 division. The Houston Texans. Not much to say about them. It's their division to win. Even if Jacksonville goes out and wins 2 games, they're still winning this division. Colts, Titans. Like I said, my hot take's Jacksonville. Winning that many games is crazy because it's the same record as Cincinnati. That's the same record as the Broncos. That's the same record almost as the Steelers. It's just and the Chargers. That's just my hot take on this year. But that's all the AFC part. Going in on the NFC part now. 2-15 and finishing 16th the conference, 4th in the division, 0-6 in the division. We're going to New York Giants. I think Dable's got to go. I think the GM's got to go. I think Russell Wilson's got to go. They have a young squad. Potential 2-15 record might be a stretch. They could win more games. My personal take, those 2 wins are coming from Jackson Dart, not Russell Wilson. Dallas, 13th in the conference, 3rd in the division, 6-10. There's not much to say about that team. They need to rebuild. They need a new owner. They need a better coach. They need all-around better. I'm not confident in Dak as I was in 2019, 2018. He's not the same quarterback. I'm sorry, he doesn't deserve the same money. It takes forever for them to pay CD. They're still waiting on Micah Parsons. It's just not a solid team. 5th in the conference, 2nd in the division, 11-6, 4-2 in the division. Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to take a little bump and come down to earth from last year. I don't think he's going to be Superman like he was last year. Dan Quinn is a good coach. He is. I think he's going to take a slight bump. They got Deebo Samuel. Wasn't a fan of that pickup. He's kind of getting on the older side, not as high as his peak of his career. Not a fan of that pickup. You get the Terry McLaurin situation figured out, you're good. Number 1 in the conference and the division, Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4 record, 6-0 in the division. With them, Super Bowl champs, did what they could in the offseason, pretty much running it back with the same team. They just didn't do anything that makes them be a bad team. It just may take a drop from what the record was last year. NFC North, I have Minnesota. This is going to be this is the toughest division. Sim this up a little bit. Vikings 4th, Packers 3rd, Bears 2nd, making the playoffs. Lions 1st, 2nd in the conference. That division is going to be a straight field fight. You could swap the Bears and Packers. Not really excited about what Minnesota brings to the table this year. I'm not high on McCarthy as much. That division is just going to be a haymaker. It could go anyway. I could see the Bears finishing last. I could see the Packers finishing last. I don't see Detroit finishing last, but I could also see all 4 of those teams finishing first. That division is going to be a field fest. I got Bears and Lions making the playoffs. NFC South. We got the Saints finishing last with a 3-14 record. We have the Panthers finishing 3rd with a 7-10 record. Falcons 8-9 record. Bucks finishing 1st, only team in the playoffs there, 12-5 record. Bucks run that division. It's pretty plain and simple. Panthers are going to take a jump, I think, with wins. I have them going 7-10. Atlanta kind of being mid, maybe missing the playoffs a little bit with 8-9. Saints, you can't run Spencer Rattler out there. I think Shedeur Sanders would have fit in great there. I think you could have traded up and went and got Jackson Dart. I don't know. I'm not excited about that team. I'm really not. You still got AK at running back. You got Taysom Hill, who's such a cap hit. I don't understand why he's still on the team. I get it, but it's not 2020 anymore. He's not going to be the same weapon he was 5 years ago. It's unfortunate. He had his time. Especially they got Kellen Moore as a coach now. He was rumored to be coached probably every single team in the NFL for the last 4 years, but never did. Here we go with the last division. We got Cardinals finishing last. This one's kind of a field fest too. We got Seattle finishing 3rd, 49ers making the playoffs finishing 2nd, and the Rams making the playoffs finishing 1st. That division, it feels like every year they're just throwing haymakers at each other, just potentially all could make the playoffs. I don't even think Arizona can make the playoffs. I'll say the top 3. Seattle could sneak in. We don't know with Darnold yet how that's going to be. They lost Lockett. They lost Metcalf. JSN's going to have to take a big step being first. He can, but how is that going to translate to everything else, in my opinion? 49ers, I think they're destined to bounce back. They got rid of some cap and Deebo Samuel. Ayuk's hurt for a little bit. Rams are going to do Rams things. They're going to make the playoffs, I feel like, almost every single year. That takes us to our playoff picture. So, as I set it up, it would look like Broncos, Texans first round, Bengals, Chiefs first round, Jags, Ravens first round with the Bills bye, Eagles bye in the NFC, Commanders, Rams, Bucks, 49ers, and Bears, Lions. So we'll start from the top. I got Denver beating Houston. I think Denver's going to take a jump, like I said. We have the Bengals over the Chiefs with everything that happened. Everything that happened. This may be a biased pick with the Burrowhead stuff after the last time they beat them. After the Week 2 PI, after the replay third down in the 2022 AFC Championship, with the sitting your starters against Denver when the Bengals need a win to get in. This, I think, is going to all go black with this thing that Burrow, Taylor, Chase, they don't like the Chiefs. They are going to come back with this in the back of their head and win that game. Say we do play them in the playoffs. I got Bengals over Chiefs. The dynasty ends in Burrowhead. And then we got the Ravens over Jacksonville. Honestly, I feel like that would just be an absolute smoke show. NFC, we got the Rams over the Commanders. We got the Bucks over the 49ers and the Lions over the Bears. All home wins. Pretty plain and simple. So we move on to the divisional round. I have the Ravens over Broncos, the Bills over the Bengals, the Lions over the Bucks, and the Rams over the Eagles. I like that matchup. I think the Eagles take a hit. I think the Lions are a better team than the Bucks. I think the Ravens are a way better team than the Broncos. And I think the Bills are better put together than Cincinnati. That takes us to the conference championship, Final Four, whatever you want to call it. I got the Bills over the Ravens, the Lions over the Rams, Lions versus Bills, and I got the Bills beating the Lions, and the Bills 2025 Super Bowl champs finally get it done. Like I said, the Palmer edition, the Bosa edition, the chemistry that team has, they don't stop fighting every single year. They prove why they're meant to be there, and personally, I think that's what gets them done this year. Again, this is just my opinion, but that's what I think for this year. If you watched, I appreciate it. I don't know how this is going to go. Never done this, kind of just fiddling around with it, but appreciate it if you watched it. Hi. There you go. I just looked at the outro. I can't do an outro, apparently. It was the worst damn thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm linking my Twitter or X, whatever it's called, down below. I post in there probably 100 times a day. And then I'm linking the podcast down there. Bandwagon, hop on the bandwagon. Check it out down there. I'm going to link both of them. Bandwagon, the podcast, is going to start rolling back here in like 2 weeks once football season starts.